From the sun-baked plains of Macedonia to the windswept steppes of Mongolia, history has been shaped by the relentless march of empires. These sprawling dominions, often forged in the crucible of war, stand as testaments to the ambition, brilliance, and often ruthlessness of a select few individuals, the Great Conquerors. In this series, we delve into the lives and times of history's most formidable conquerors. Join me as we journey through time, exploring the lives of these titans who, for better or worse, shaped the world we know today. Imagine, if you will, a young king, barely out of his teens, leading his armies to victory after victory across the scorching deserts of Persia. This was Alexander, king of Macedon, a man who seemed to bleed conquest. Alexander's thirst for glory was insatiable. He dreamt of a world united under his rule, a world where the sun never set on his empire. He drove his men relentlessly, pushing them to the very limits of human endurance. Across the Granicus River, they clashed with the Persians, their polished bronze armor glinting in the sun. At Issus, Alexander's tactical genius outmaneuvered the Persian king Darius, scattering his forces and sending him fleeing into the night. Further east they marched, through the Syrian gates and into the heart of the Persian Empire. City after city fell to Alexander's unstoppable advance: Tyre, Gaza, and finally, the grand ceremonial capital of Persepolis. Yet even with Persia in ruins at his feet, Alexander yearned for more. He cast his gaze eastward, towards the fabled lands of India, where a new challenge awaited. The Battle of the Hydaspes River pitted Alexander against King Porus, a formidable warrior king with an army of elephants. It was a battle unlike any Alexander had faced before, a brutal, bloody affair that tested his army to its limits. Victory, though costly, was ultimately Alexander's, but the campaign had taken its toll. His men, exhausted and weary of war, pleaded with him to turn back. For once, Alexander relented. Back in Babylon, surrounded by the spoils of his conquests, Alexander succumbed to a sudden and mysterious illness. Centuries after Alexander's death, a young Roman general, Gaius Julius Caesar, gazed upon a bust of the Macedonian king and wept. He too dreamt of conquest, of carving his name into the annals of history. Caesar was a man of contradictions, a brilliant military strategist, a gifted orator, and a ruthless politician. He rose through the ranks of the Roman Republic, his ambition burning brighter with each victory. His campaigns in Gaul, a land of fierce Celtic tribes, cemented his reputation as a military genius. With his loyal legions at his side, he conquered vast territories, extending Rome's reach to the shores of the Atlantic. But Caesar's ambition extended far beyond the battlefield. He craved power, the kind of power that came with ruling Rome itself. The Roman Senate, however, stood in his way, a bastion of tradition and a check on his growing influence. Caesar's crossing of the Rubicon River, the boundary between Roman Italy and Cisalpine Gaul, was a declaration of war. It was a gamble that paid off. His enemies scattered before him and Rome lay ripe for the taking. From the ashes of the Roman Empire we journey eastward to the vast steppes of Mongolia, where a new power was rising. The Mongols, a nomadic people feared for their equestrian skills and ruthlessness in battle. At their head rode GenghisKhan, a name that would become synonymous with both terror and awe. Born Temujin, he united the warring Mongol tribes under his banner, forging them into an unstoppable fighting force. Genghis Khan's ambition knew no bounds. He envisioned a world united under Mongol rule, a world where the steppes stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the shores of Europe. His warriors, mounted on hardy ponies and armed with composite bows, swept across Asia like a whirlwind. They conquered the Khwarezmian Empire, sacked the wealthy cities of Samarkand and Bukhara, and pushed westward into Eastern Europe. Genghis Khan was a brilliant strategist and a ruthless pragmatist. He understood the importance of logistics and discipline, and he instilled a strict code of conduct within his army. He rewarded loyalty and ruthlessness in equal measure. His empire, built on a foundation of conquest and fear, stretched from the Sea of Japan to the Caspian Sea. Despite his brutality, Genghis Khan was also a shrewd ruler who promoted religious tolerance and encouraged trade. Centuries after the fall of the Mongol Empire, a new kind of conqueror emerged from the chaos of revolutionary France: Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who combined military genius with an unyielding ambition. Born on the island of Corsica, Napoleon rose through the ranks of the French army during the tumultuous years following the French Revolution. He proved himself a brilliant tactician, winning victory after victory against France's enemies. Napoleon's campaigns were legendary for their speed, audacity, and his innovative use of artillery. He reorganized the French army, introducing the concept of corps, self-sufficient military units that allowed him to move with unprecedented speed and flexibility. From the battlefields of Italy to the pyramids of Egypt, Napoleon's star continued to rise. He crowned himself Emperor of the French, a bold move that cemented his hold on power and signaled his imperial ambitions. Napoleon's empire, forged in the fires of war, stretched across Europe. He implemented sweeping reforms, modernizing legal codes, establishing a central bank, and promoting education. His military campaigns, however, continued to bleed France dry. The disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812, a campaign that saw his Grande Armée decimated by the harsh Russian winter, marked a turning point in his fortunes. Defeated at the Battle of Leipzig in 1813, Napoleon was forced to abdicate and was exiled to the island of Elba. But his exile was short-lived. In 1815, he escaped Elba and returned to France, rallying his former soldiers to his cause. The 100 Days' War, as it came to be known, culminated in the Battle of Waterloo, where Napoleon's forces faced off against a British-led coalition commanded by the Duke of Wellington. This was the end of the great four conquerors. Alexander the Great, felled by a mysterious illness in the prime of his life; Julius Caesar, betrayed by those he trusted most; GenghisKhan, the steppes swallowing his legend as quickly as he conquered them; and Napoleon Bonaparte, the artist of war, his canvas ultimately stained with the blood of his own ambition. Their insatiable appetites for power and glory drove them to conquer vast empires, leaving behind a trail of both progress and destruction. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating stories.